Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys That Magic. We got myself, Steven, and Hunter. Hunter, say what's up.
What up?
Oh, Hunter, I've been waiting for today. We have your $300 upgrade video for Mind Flayarrrs.
I still have a gripe with that because we only have one pirate in the deck. Spoiler alert, did not add any more in the 300 either.
Spoiler alert, still excited. All right, Hunter, walk me through it.
Let's talk about our commander one more time just to remind everybody what our deck is trying to do, and that is Captain Ingathrod. Captain Ingathrod is 3, a blue and a black for a 3/6 legendary creature horror pirate. It says horrors you control have menace. And whenever a horror you control deals combat damage to a player, that player mills that many cards. At the beginning of your end step, choose target artifact or creature card in an opponent's graveyard that was put there from their library this turn. Put it onto the battlefield under your control. So essentially what our deck wants to do is we want to mill, Steven. You love the mill strategy.
Yes, this is why I was so excited.
So I added a whole bunch of different type of mill cards, made this deck with horrors, by the way, because our deck loves horror themed as well. So I made this deck really, really mean.
All right, Hunter, so let's get into this a little bit, but before we get into it, let's go ahead and see what cards you kind of kept along the way from the $100 upgrade.
Yeah, so these are all the additions. What I'm basically doing is I'm taking the $100 list and I'm making it even better with extra money. So the entire cards, not only from the 100, I'm adding $200 worth of cards on top of it. So the cards we did keep from our $100 list, and again, if you want to see the entirety of why I put these cards into the deck, go and watch our $100 video. It's down in the description down below. Click that link. Do it. So these cards I'm keeping from the 100 that are in the deck is Illithid Harvester, Counterspell, Negate, Cryptic Command, Maddening Cacophony, Altar of the Brood, Court of Cunning, Mind Grind, Strionic Resonator, Jace, Memory Adept, Umbris, Fear Manifest, Toxtrol the Corrosive, Thing in the Ice, and some lands, Morphic Pool, Clearwater Pathway, and a Fabled Passage.
I'm not gonna lie, Hunter. After your $100 upgrade, I did order like 3 Altar of the Broods.
Altar of the Brood is a really good artifact for milling, man.
Yeah, it's insane. Thank you for bringing that to the light.
Of
But
course.
with that being said, sir, that's what you kept from the $100. Give me some of the juicy new cards.
So the juicy new cards. Obviously, these are the cards I wanted to throw into the deck originally, but couldn't because of the budget restraints that we put on ourselves. But I really did like the 100 list, so I'm not making a ton of changes. So we're going to see some cards here that just fit really well, and we're going to go from there.
All right.
So first off, let's talk about these better creatures. First one is Phyrexian Obliterator. Phyrexian Obliterator is 4 black mana for a 5/5 creature horror. It's got trample. It says whenever a source deals damage to Phyrexian Obliterator, that source's controller sacks that many permanents.
That's mean.
Did you want to block this? Because if you do, you're going to sack that many permanents. And giving this menace means you're probably going to have to double block, which is more power against this guy. So get rid of that many permanents.
I mean, this gets around a lot of board wipes too, man. I mean, like obviously destroy all, not really, but like Blasphemous Act, which you see a lot in red decks, deals 13 damage. They have to sacrifice 13 permanents.
You're not going to like that.
Can we also mention that this does not say non-land?
It does not. It is a permanent. You sack whatever you can.
Oh my god, this is juicy. Okay.
Yeah, so this horror, obviously a little more pricey. It's fitting here in the $300 upgrade. This other creature I'm adding is Bruvak the Grandiloquent. Bruvak the Grandiloquent is 2 and a blue for a 1/4 legendary creature human advisor. Says if an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill twice that many cards instead. So if you're throwing a kicked Maddening Cacophony you win the game with Bruvac because Bruvac just basically says, oh, you're milling half the deck? Well, mill that many cards again, which is their whole deck.
Oh my god, man! I can't tell you how happy I am right now.
Yeah, Bruvac is a must-have in any mill deck. I know this is not a horror, but it is our only creature in the deck that really isn't a horror.
Also, not a pirate.
Also, not a pirate. Yes, you are correct.
All right, so is that it for the creatures?
Well, we'll come back to it, but that is it for right now.
Oh,
Spoilers.
oh. All right, well, let's move on. What else you got in here?
I threw a little extra mill package in the deck, what I really wanted to do. So, these two cards, they're perfect for the deck. First one, Psychic Corrosion. Psychic Corrosion is 2 and a blue. It's an enchantment. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Very simple. You're going to be milling your opponents every time you start your turn.
Yeah, I think, and you and I actually had a conversation about this card. Way better than Teferi's Tutelage. Way better, because I'm pretty sure that one says target. This is just each.
Exactly. I really wanted to try and keep most of the cards that say each because I want that ability to pick what I want from my opponent's graveyards, not just a single opponent. The other card I'm adding is Sword of Body and Mind. Sword of Body and Mind is 3 generic mana for an artifact equipment. It says equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from green and from blue. And whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you create a 2/2 green wolf creature token, and that player mills 10 cards. Equipped 2. We do not care at all about making little wolves, but we do care about milling someone for 10. So throw this on one of your horrors. Not only is it got protection from green and blue, so if you're attacking someone that's only running Simic, that's perfect. You're just going to get in with that damage. They're going to mill as many as 10 plus whatever the power of the creature is if you have your commander out. So,
Not to mention if
mean.
Bruvac's on the field too.
If Bruvac's on the field on top of that, then you're just hurting someone a lot.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, Sword of Body and Mind, perfect include here. This next card I left all by itself because I am surprised that nobody said anything. Because in the last video, the $100 upgrade, I removed pretty much every board wipe out of the deck. And I didn't add any others because there's one main board wipe that is just a little bit too expensive to fit into the $100 upgrade. So I was specifically saving it for this upgrade. This is Damnation. Damnation, 2 generic, 2 black, sorcery, destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated.
Damn. Nation.
Yep. Damnation. The good news is Double Masters spoiler season is here, and they've announced this is a reprint, so you actually might be able to throw it into a $100 list soon. You never know. The price could come down.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Hunter. Well, you kind of gave us a little spoiler into some extra creatures you might be throwing in here. I kind of want to know what they are.
Yeah, so I added a combo into this deck. But I don't really like running combos unless they fit on theme. And oh boy, does this combo fit perfectly on theme.
I think David's
So,
turning over in his grave right now.
it's not a well, you'll see the combo. Here's the combo. It's Fenix, God of the Deception, and Eater of the Dead. What do? Well, I'll tell you. Fenix, God of Deception is 3, a blue and a black, for a 4/7 legendary enchantment creature god. It has indestructible. It says as long as your devotion to blue and black is less than 7, Fenix isn't a creature. It says creatures you control have tap. Target player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, where X is this creature's toughness. So, Fenix, God of Deception, a perfect god that mills in my colors. So, if you see your opponent's board that's full of creatures that can block you, just tap your stuff down and make them mill that way instead. Also, Eater of the Dead. Eater of the Dead is 4 and a black for a 3/4 creature horror. It says untap Eater of the Dead, remove target creature card in a graveyard from the game. So, with these two cards in combination, You can tap Eater of the Dead, mill someone for 4, get rid of a creature from a graveyard, untap Eater of the Dead, tap it again, mill him for 4, untap, and just keep going.
I
If
think
you're
the best
playing,
part about this is that no matter what, you're milling them for 4. They're gonna have a creature in their graveyard. So, boom.
I was just about to say, if you're playing a deck that's not running creatures, that's the only issue there. But they're more than likely running creatures because I would say 99% of the time decks are running creatures.
I don't know,
And I'm
Hunter. They just reprinted Child of Alara. So, can you imagine all the 99 land decks that are about to come out?
You never know, man. But Eater of the Dead, Fennec's God of Deception, this 2-card combo with Eater of the Dead also being a horror, so you don't even need Fennec's to be in here because it fits on horror theme. It's like a perfect combination for this deck. I know I'm exiling creature cards, which kind of shuts off our commander just a little bit. Same with Umbris, but these two, Eater of the Dead and Umbris, they get rid of your opponent's library. That's what we really want to do at the end of the day.
That's all I want to do at the end of the day. All right, Hunter. So, really cool cards so far. Did you add any extra lands?
Yeah, so I felt like the deck was perfect as it is, and I just kind of just was like, all right, what else can I just do to make this deck even better? And that was adding 3 other lands. It's just Watery Grave, Drowned Catacomb, and Shipwreck Marsh. All 3 of them tap for a blue or a black.
All right, Hunter. What did you get rid of?
So, first off, I'm keeping all of the stuff that I got rid of from the $100 list. So, quickly, if you guys, again, want to hear why I removed all of these cards, I'm not going over them all. They are in the $100 upgrade. Look in the description down below. Click that link. Go watch why I removed them. So, I'm removing Dusk Mangler, Dark Hatchling, Nihilith, Hex, In Garruk's Wake, Dross Harvester, Psychosis Crawler, Plague Spitter, Crippling Fear, Factor Fiction, From the Catacombs, Pull from Tomorrow, Haunted One, Siphon Mind, Drown Yard Temple, Temple of the False God, and Port of Carfell.
Really surprised you got rid of Temple of the False Gods. Best land in EDH, hands down.
Yeah, not at all. It's like the first one that gets cut every time.
All right, so that's what you got rid of last time. What are you getting rid of this time?
So here's some creatures that didn't make the cut, unfortunately. I'm getting rid of Forgotten Creation. Forgotten Creation is 3 and a blue for a 3/3 creature zombie horror. It has Skulk, which means this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And it says at the beginning of upkeep, you may discard all cards in your hand. If you do, draw that many cards. Ability is really cool, but at the end of the day, the other creatures we put in are just better. They have better upside. Same thing goes with Grell Philosopher. Grell Philosopher is 2 and a blue for a 1/4 creature horror wizard. It says when it enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, each horror you control gains all activated abilities of target artifact and opponent controls until end of turn. You may spend blue mana as though it were any mana of any color to activate those abilities. I just didn't see it in a world where all of my creatures need 1 ability from an artifact, and this only allows blue mana to do that. So, this versus Bruvac, I'm going Bruvac. Another one we're getting rid of is Chasm Skulker. Chasm Skulker is 2 and a blue for a 1/1 creature squid horror. It says whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Chasm Skulker. It says when it dies, create X 1/1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Chasm Skulker. I thought this card was a little selfish. I mean, it's very cool that it pumps itself really high and gives the ability eventually with our commander to mill our opponents for the amount of damage it does. But when it dies, it makes squids, which are not horrors, so this is going away. This card I actually added from the $100 list is not going to make the cut this time around. Intellect Devourer. Intellect Devourer is 3 and a black for a 2/4 creature horror. It says when it enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hand until this leaves the battlefield. You may play lands and cast spells from among the cards exiled with Intellect Devourer. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. Ability, really cool. Does the one thing one time though, and I feel like it's just unfortunate. Your opponent gets to choose what they give you, and that's just not as strong enough for a $300 upgrade, in my opinion. So it's getting the axe here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think 4 mana for a 2/4. Yes, it does something cool, but you're right. It just does it the one time, and I think you can spend that mana doing some other cool stuff with the juicy cards you put in your $300 upgrade.
For sure, man. And these next couple of cards, they hurt to take out, but they're taken out. This first one, Curtain's Call. Curtain's Call is 5 and a black. It's an instant. It says it's got Undaunted, which means it costs 1 less for each opponent. So essentially, this costs 3 if you have 3 opponents. But it says destroy 2 creatures. Very simple to the point. Added a card that destroys all creatures. So I think that's a little better than 2 creatures. And if before you say, but you might need it, I still have spot removal in the deck. It's okay. We're going to be okay. Spot removal is still in the deck. Feed the Swarm, for instance, as well as Chupacabra.
Chupa
Chupacabra. Ravenous Chupacabra. Also, Leyline of Anticipation. This was a hard one to cut. This is 2 and 2 blue. Enchantment. If it's in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. You may cast spells as though they had flash. That's a great ability. It really is. But at the end of the day, does it help the mill theme? Not as much as a card that makes my opponents mill every time I draw. So we're switching out those enchantments.
Yeah, man, I'll agree with you. This card is probably one of my favorites, and just having a pregame interaction is pretty cool too. But if it's not doing what the deck needs to be done, it does need to get the axe.
Yep, unfortunately. And another one from my original $100 list is getting the cut, one of my additions. This is Cone of Cold. I was really proud of this one. Cone of Cold is 3 and a blue for sorcery. Roll a d20. If you roll a 1 through 9, tap all creatures your opponents control. If you roll a 10 through 19, tap all creatures your opponents control. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap steps. And if you roll a perfect 20, I'm saying perfect, tap all creatures your opponents control. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap steps until your next turn. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Excellent card, really cool. But I'm just trying to add more of the mill theme. So this one just didn't do it enough for me. Sort of Body and Mind is coming in instead.
Yeah, I mean, I remember how much you love this card, especially every time you said the words natural 20.
That is perfect, dude. It's perfect 20.
Ugh.
And to wrap things up, we got rid of some lands because we did add some lands. So Creeping Tar Pit, Myriad Landscape, Ash Barrens, and a single swamp. Getting the axe. Creeping Tar Pit comes in tapped, so our other lands that we added are just better because they have the ability not to come in tapped. And it has an ability where you can make a 3/2 elemental creature. That's not even a horror. Don't need it. Myriad Landscape comes in tapped. Slow. Ash Barrens just taps for a colorless. So before we wrap things up, because those are the rest of my removals, I did add Everflowing Chalice back into the deck because I'd like to read comments. You guys made good points saying Everflowing Chalice, if I have it late game, it works really great with Mind Grind. So that's going back into the deck. Everflowing Chalice. And because I'm adding Everflowing Chalice, I actually noticed Thought Vessel is coming out of the deck. It's a great card, don't get me wrong. It's a mana rock that says you have no maximum hand size, but we don't have anything in the deck that's going to make our hand size bigger than 7. So, Thought Vessel coming out, Everflowing Chalice back in the deck.
Yeah, big thanks to subscribers for commenting that, because you took Everflowing Chalice out and I was like, I don't like it, but it's his deck. I'll let him do it.
But yeah, that's the deck. That's the $300 upgrade, big boy edition.
Oh, Hunter, I'm so proud of you. You made me real happy, and that's Really all I needed in life.
Yeah.
All right, Hunter. You said a lot. I've agreed with you a lot. But there's only one question I have left, sir. And that is, out of the $300 budget you had, how much of it did you use?
Well, here's the thing. I had to go back and re-add all of the cards from the $100 upgrade because, believe it or not, this deck, this Captain and Gathrod, he made a lot of cards more expensive, including Umbra Sphere Manifest, because when I did the $100 upgrade, he was only sitting about $10. He's $22 now.
That's a lot.
He went up a little bit, yeah. So if you go to TCG Player right now, every single marketplace price, the average price of the market value is $294.96. So we just made it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Before we move on, I just wanted to say there is another card I wanted to add in here that was about $12. I just didn't find the room for it, and that was good old Rise of the Dark Realms. Rise of the Dark Realms, if you guys didn't know, I'll just throw it on the screen real quick. That's 7 and 2 black for a sorcery that just says put all creature cards from all graveyards on the battlefield under your control. Fantastic card. It's just 9 mana.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't have. We have 3 7-mana creatures in the deck, so didn't want the curve being that high. So you can definitely add it. I know we might get comments saying, "Why didn't you add that?" It's a great card. Go ahead and add it yourself. These are just my suggestions, and if you guys liked the deck, go into the description, click on our Moxfield link, check out the whole deck itself. I had a lot of fun making this, and I beat face with this deck. I've already practiced with it.
All right, guys. Well, that was Hunter's $300 upgrade for Mind Flayarrrs with one pirate. If you did like the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Give us a follow. If there's anything you think Hunter could have done a little better, anything that he might have missed, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let us know. We love taking feedback. We like making adjustments because even sometimes we make mistakes. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media accounts at Guys That Magic everywhere you go. And as always, thank you for tuning in. See you on the next one.
Bye.